Hey everyone, welcome to the Promo Minds podcast. I'm your host, Steve Leslie, and today we're going to be taking a look at some lessons from the famous YouTuber, Mr. Beast. So stay tuned.
More from the Promo Minds podcast coming up shortly. Promo Minds. Promote your brand, transform your business.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar with who Mr. Beast is, check him out on YouTube because there's a lot of great tips you can take away with your videos as you move forward into 2024. Something that I had put off for a while was just looking at his videos because I don't know if it was an ego thing or what, but to watch someone who has had this meteoric rise over the last decade, started YouTube when he was 11 years old, and he's absolutely flourished, but it hasn't been, great from the get-go. You can find most of his videos still on his YouTube. I think he deleted a bunch in the beginning when he first started, but it's impressive to see just how dedicated this guy was, and a lot of the advice that he gave, you can find, a plethora of it online. There's one particular that has an hour-long, it's an hour-long YouTube video that has, all this advice that he's ever talked about on podcasts or just in general. And so one of the things I started doing was I said, you know what? Let me study his videos because obviously this kid has something going on. And so it took about an hour for me going through just the first 5-6 minutes of each popular video that he has. And when I say popular video, you'll have to take a look because a video that's not popular can still have, a million views. So this guy has done a lot of learning. He's got a great team behind him, but he's also risen with friends, which makes it a heck of a lot easier learning wise, because as he puts it in his advice, he says, if you make 100 videos and you fail 100 times and you learn 100 different lessons, you have 100 different lessons learned. But if you and two other friends were to do the same thing, now you get to learn from 300 mistakes going forward. So there's power in doing things together and collaborating, which I think is great advice. On top of that, when you get more specific into his videos, just some of the things that I found, I took notes, and basically it comes down to capturing and keeping attention. Now, how do you do that? There's a series of different things you can do, and like I said, I've written down about 11 points, but here are the things that I really notice. First off, if you've ever seen the show Survivor or any sort of reality show, you'll see a lot of similarities between how those shows start out and what he has in his videos. Because what he does is he starts off with excitement. Actually, there's excitement throughout the whole video. But he starts off, doesn't waste any time, right into it. The thumbnail and the description or the title of the video is very basic and very easy. It would be something like, I had 100 hostages and 100 FBI agents, see who could make it out of a building, or something like that. And then within the first few seconds, he reiterates that title so that you as the viewer, when you click on it, you know that that is what you are getting. So he goes on to stress that even waiting 20 seconds can really infuriate a viewer and have them click away. So it's very important. Next, I noticed that there's always some sort of epic adventure music that's playing in the background. And again, if you go back to a reality show that's, Survivor, The Amazing Race, that sort of thing, you'll find that there's a lot of that goes on at the beginning to get that excitement going. On top of that, he spends the first probably 20, 30 seconds at least doing an overview of what is going to happen in this video. His videos aren't just, a minute or two long. They can be upwards of, 30, 40 minutes long. So he's really got to keep things flowing. The music that I'm describing, if you think of Pirates of the Caribbean, it's that style of music. The dun 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 dun, right? It's exciting. It says that there's an adventure to be had. Next, he talks about what's in the video, like I described earlier, but he does it in a very exciting manner. And again, look at a reality TV show and you'll see that the not the judges, but the person running the show, the host, yeah, coming from host, the host of the show speaks in a very excited manner. So naturally, someone listening to it, that enthusiasm wears off onto them.
Hey guys, if you're into hiking at all, I highly recommend subscribing to my YouTube page, Steve Leslie Hikes. That's Steve Leslie Hikes on YouTube. I have a lot of content on there from some of the crazy hikes that I've been on, including Angel's Landing in Zion National Park. And it'd be really cool to connect on there. So please check me out. Thanks.
He also has clear audio. It's very important. You want to make sure that your audio is very clear, because poor audio will make someone click away. But great audio, even with a video that's not really a cinematic production, people will still watch because the audio is great. Now, as you get into more technicalities within the video, you'll notice that there's always something happening. It's always exciting. And if there's a short clip, the clip is about a second or two long. And then it's jumping into a different camera angle, or it's jumping to a different scene, or maybe there's something jumping out at you. There's stuff that's going on all the time, and that's done to capture your attention. Keep your eyes on the screen, because you never know what's popping up, and it's always exciting. This is something that I really took away with my hiking videos, because my hiking videos, I started doing some more editing to get them down, but what I had done in the past was an edited down video or a spliced up video. Those clips could still be 30, 40 seconds long. You want to make it so that there's something happening every other second, as much as you can, but it also has to make sense. You can't just, throw a bunch of random stuff at people. I have applied these techniques as much as I can into my latest hiking video, which is titled We Hiked the Narrows in Zion National Park. And you can find it on my YouTube channel, Steve Leslie Hikes. There you will see the difference between that video and even the next one below it. Keep in mind, I did an experiment where I did a bunch of editing the way that Mr. Beast would have done his, as much as I could. Mr. Beast has a plethora of camera angles and, very sophisticated equipment, and I am going into post-production with this knowledge, not pre-production. So keep that in mind. But you'll notice that I'm constantly splicing things in, and I have a more engaging intro, and I even speak in this particular video. I try to emulate that excitement, and I didn't have a script, so I just went off cuff, and I went about 50 seconds. And something that I noticed is that this video, over time, I'll get to the statistics in a second, but over time, I noticed that there was a drop-off about a minute to a minute 10 in. And as I put it out there, I kind of thought that was going to be where the drop-off would happen, and it did, which is really beneficial for me because now I am getting more in tune with how those videos should go together. And when I went back and looked at it, I said, I know exactly what caused the drop off. And if I had to do it again, I would completely eliminate a couple of those scenes. The other thing that I did was I was paying attention to how many views I was getting on a daily basis. And at the start, I was getting about 20 for the first 2 days. And I had put out a thumbnail that was something similar to what I was looking for, but not exact. And one thing that I noticed with Mr. Beast is his YouTube video thumbnails, they're actually AI generated, but they're not fully AI. It's kind of like a in between real life and artificial. And so I finally was able to locate a website. I'll have to post it in the show notes below because I forget the name of it on the top of my head. But there's a website that I finally found where you can go to and you can take a real image and kind of get like a 70% real, 30% artificial, and have it more cartoony in a way. Surprisingly, that was difficult to find, and I went through Canva and a few different apps and whatnot, but finally came across this one. With it, I had also changed my shirt. So I was wearing something that I got in Arizona, which was a yellow shirt, so a bright shirt. It had symbols all over it. And then I took a hiking stick or a walking stick, and then I set up almost like a headshot here and got a lot of light. And then I took this headshot, and finally I was able to get exactly what I wanted. And when I applied that thumbnail, that's when I saw an exponential rise on this particular video. So the click-through rate went from under 2% to almost 6%. And on top of that, it was on a trajectory which had exponential growth in viewership. So I saw 100 views a day, 150 views a day, 250 views a day, 400 a day, and 450 a day. And now, in a span of a week, after that week, it dropped off. And so I'm thinking it's because I didn't upload any more videos. So moving forward, I'm going to have to keep up, try to do this at least one video a week. I have a lot of content on there. Or a lot of content to still upload onto there. It's just a matter of putting it together, and it takes time to edit those things. So just keep that in mind. Another thing that I noticed was that he has music, that music that we talked about, he has that playing the entire length of the video, and it keeps you engaged. Again, that is the overall goal, is to keep your attention. Get your attention, keep your attention. And it starts with the thumbnail, the title, and that first opening 3 seconds is where you got to really connect with people. So again, you can go to my YouTube channel, Steve Leslie Hikes, and check out the Narrows video, and you'll see what I have done to implement these. And moving forward, I'm going to try to implement them more into maybe the podcast a little bit, and certainly with some of the videos that I'm producing for other companies, and just have fun with it. Because now that I understand how the cameras and the sounds, and you can add all these dynamic components to your videos in order to keep that engagement, it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward. More hard work, but over time it's going to get easier. So that is what I have learned from Mr. Beast so far. I'm curious to know what you have learned, and if you want to share any tips, feel free to reach out to me at promominds at gmail.com. You'll see it at the end screen. You'll see how to spell that, PROMOMINDS at gmail.com. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to a special episode of the Promo Minds podcast. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone. As you can see, I decided to wear my Christmas sweater. Anyways, I hope you have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and until next time, take care.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Promo Minds podcast. I'm Steve Leslie, and if you want help crafting your message or sharing your story, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help. Love coming up with ideas, and we can have a nice chat. So reach out to promominds@gmail.com and I'll respond. Take care.